Welcome to the Space Marketing Podcast, where we look at marketing principles, strategies, and tactics through the lens of space. I am your host, Izzy House, and I am so excited to share this journey with you as we explore the different space industries. On this episode, we look at the space education segment with Kaci Heins, Director of Education with the Limitless Space Institute. So, lift off in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Space Marketing Podcast, where we look at marketing principles, strategies, and tactics through the lens of space. Information relating to our discussion today and links to the video version can be found in the episode show notes on spacemarketingpodcast.com. Please like and follow the podcast. It will help us get the word out about this incredible industry of space. Information in this episode is for entertainment and information only. Please consult a professional for your specific situation. I met our next guest in the Space for Kentucky Roundtable project that I organize. She will be a panelist in the next Space for Kentucky Roundtable. The Space for Kentucky Roundtable is a series of meetings focused on growing the space industry. Each meeting has a different theme that introduces participants to a different aspect of the space industry. The next event on August 31st is Space for Kentucky Back to School, Educator Resources and Tools. The link for that is spaceforkentucky.com. It will focus on the resources and tools that are available for educators to bring space into the classroom. We have several panelists, including experts from the International Space Station, NASA, and Aries Learning, as well as Robert Aillon, who was a previous guest of the podcast and was instrumental in Ecuador's signing of the Artemis Accords. As well as our next guest will be on that panel. Kaci Heins is the Director of Education with Limitless Space Institute. Limitless Space Institute, which is a mouthful to say pretty fast, their mission is to inspire and educate the next generation to travel beyond our solar system and support the research and development to enable that technology to exist. Hello, Kaci, and welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Izzy. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited that our paths crossed and here we are today.
Oh, I mean, it was serendipitous, wasn't it? It was definitely serendipitous. I mean, I got you right before you left the state.
Yeah.
So first, let's talk about you. Tell us why you choose to work in the space industry. How did your path get here?
Yeah, mine is a very unusual path. It is not the norm. I grew up in a small town in Southern Illinois where space was not talked about. I had no experience with it, and when I finally got to my own classroom, teaching in my own classroom in middle school science, I hated teaching space. I absolutely knew nothing about it because I had no experience, never watched a shuttle launch on TV, only looked at the stars at night, which were beautiful, but I had zero experience, and the kids had a million questions. What's a black hole? How far away is Neptune? All these things, and I had no clue. I had one astronomy class in college, and that was it. And so it made it really hard to teach. It made me, because I wasn't secure in that content area, made me kind of go over that unit really, really fast, or maybe not a lot of hands-on, which is very unlike me, but I just didn't understand it as well. So that's when I had a mentor teacher that had been to Space Camp for Educators. Honeywell used to sponsor hundreds, if not thousands of years of teachers over the years. And so what happened, I got accepted into that program in June of 2010. And from there, the rest is history. I walked in there and they hand you the blue flight suit and they're like, here, you got to wear this during your missions. I'm like, I'm 28 years old. I gotta wear this? What a bunch of nerds. You know, I've never seen the space camp movie or anything. Again, no exposure. And, you know, we had our first mission and I got to do an EVA. So I was in the zero gravity chair doing this mission. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. I have to be a part of this. I have to get plugged in. And from there, 13 years now, it's been an amazing ride as an educator. We've gotten to fly 2 experiments up to the International Space Station. I've flown 2 experiments with other teachers and student designs on the zero-G plane, which was amazing. We flew high altitude balloons up to 100,000 feet. I just changed everything about my teaching, and I taught it through the lens of space exploration. And because there's nothing that can capture the wonder and imagination of children like space, let alone adults. You know, if I can get on this rocket, you know, later in life,
Yes.
let's do that for kids. And it's been so much fun as a teacher because I get to stay excited and rejuvenated and like, oh my gosh, what's happening next? You know, even with space missions, you know, with New Horizons, oh my gosh, let's integrate that in the classroom. Oh my gosh, here's Artemis, let's integrate that. You know, the next thing, you just get to refresh your curriculum as well because it's also new and exciting, and it helps advance human exploration, and everything off the Earth helps everyone on the Earth. So it's really a win-win for everybody.
And that's one of the reasons why I started the Space for Kentucky in the first place, was because, you know, the people of the state, there's such a disconnect in space to your life. I mean, we carry around space in our pocket, and most people do not have that awareness that this is all space, from the camera to the coding to what's on it to the communication that it offers, the weather, the traffic. It's all from space.
Yeah, and even infrared thermometers.
Yes.
Those came from space telescopes. It's like COVID, hello. You need those infrared thermometers, and we need them for space.
Oh, and I mean, the vaccine itself was developed using technology that was on the International Space Station. So, I mean, space is around us in our lives so much. So, the Space for Kentucky Roundtable is just kind of an exposure to people that don't know that space is in their lives. Mm-hmm. So that's where that came from. So,
I love it.
For those of you watching the video version, we're going to have a little clip that is about the Limitless Space Institute.
As incredible as it may seem, there will be a time, and it may be closer than you think, when we live on other worlds. The moon, Mars, and in the space between. And when that day comes, just as always, our children will look with curiosity across these new horizons, with a desire to go further and to explore what lies beyond. But beyond Mars, the distances between worlds grow immensely, even within our own solar system, and become truly vast in between stars. If we ever want to reach out across these distances, we need to learn how to go fast. Using our current knowledge of physics and engineering, we could build nuclear locomotives to take humans to all the worlds in our solar system. But a starship powered with a nuclear heart aimed for even our closest star, Proxima Centauri, would have to harbor hundreds of generations of people, all living their entire lives aboard before reaching its destination 4.25 light years away. It would take 2 years just to reach the orbit of Saturn, and another 2,000 years to reach Proxima Centauri. We need to be able to go faster. with our current knowledge of physics, but with engineering we have yet to develop. We can imagine a propulsion system with the sun for a heart, a fusion engine that could accelerate a starship up to 5% of the speed of light. This ship could cross the orbit of Saturn in 6 months and reach Proxima Centauri in just over a century. But if we want to traverse interstellar distances in less than a human lifetime, we have to go incredibly fast. The universe has shown us that this can be done by altering the scale of space itself. And we are working to develop new understandings of physics to learn how this might be controlled. If we could construct a starship with a propulsion system that decreases space in front of it and expands space behind it, this ship could cross enormous distances effectively faster than the speed of light. Such a ship would reach from Mars to Saturn in just a matter of minutes and be able to reach Proxima Centauri in less than 6 months. From there are no limits to where we could go. Perhaps one day, humanity will look up at an alien night sky and strain to find the pale yellow dot that is our sun, our home, and know for the first time, as we look back on ourselves, that we are not alone in the universe. This journey starts today.
But, and you gotta watch it, it's really cool, because let me tell you, you have not only started a new journey, but you have gone way beyond where most people even think in as far as companies are concerned. So tell us about Limitless Space. I mean, it is fascinating.
It is an amazing company, and just thinking about that pathway of where I got into space, which is an unconventional way, and it's the same thing learning about Limitless. I met Dr. Wright, Sunny, at Space Symposium the year I won Alan Shepard Award, and it was the tail end of COVID, so no teachers could come. I was the only one, the teacher track. A lot of things were really different. We had to wear masks, and so it's a different experience, but it was because of the times. But that's where my life changed, and then I met Sunny in the green room, and he tells me about Limitless, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is interesting. And then we ended up having a video chat afterwards, and just learning more about the company and this concept of going incredibly fast, but never heard of them. And just thinking, okay, this is something that seems like science fiction. Maybe I've seen stuff like this in Star Wars or Star Trek. But the fact is, it's a reality. Being able to go incredibly fast through advanced power and propulsion is something humans, this pink squishy things that have to live inside of the spacecraft, we have to go faster. Even Mars, if you look at it, a 2-year mission is really pushing humans in that aspect of exploration. That's a long ways to go. A lot can happen. It's very, very high risk. But if we can go to nuclear to electric propulsion, whether it's nuclear fission, nuclear fusion, or even at some point we get to warp drive, which there's research being done on that, then oh my gosh, we could be there in a fraction of the time and be able to do incredible research. And again, the benefits for all of humanity, they get to reap those rewards back on Earth. So what LSI does is we help fund grants and fellowships for academia around the world that are doing this research. And so our Limitless educators, which I'll get to more in a minute, we get to hear about all this amazing research that's going on. And again, what seems like science fiction is actually a reality, and we're going to see it in our lifetime. And we may not be able to see the warp drive piece in our lifetime. Dr. Wright, his goal is by the turn of the century, being able to have a form of warp drive going. But it's still amazing, because that's where we come in on the education side, is being able to inspire that next generation of our workforce that's going to be a part of that mission, which is incredibly exciting.
And I'd like to point out one thing, that when Star Trek first started, Sulu used to run into doors because he expected them to open, and that technology wasn't there. The little communicators where they talk to the ship. We have our watches now. We have doors that open by themselves. So science fiction is really a window into, yes, we think this is possible. And when we think it, we can make it happen.
Yeah, from Wright brothers to warp drive, when you think about it, being able to have humans fly, even back in their time, it's like you're crazy. You're absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah.
But that's what's great about humans, is we have this deep ingrained sense of wonder and curiosity, and if you give us a challenge where it's like, that's impossible, it's like, nope, we're gonna prove you wrong. And so, then they have flying. And then you think about, the time frame in which we gone to automobile, or from walking and running to train to automobile to flying, and now commercial flights. When you look at flights around the world, the number of planes go around this planet at one time, and now you see the number of satellites going around this planet all the time. It's like, and where we went from planes to going to space with Mercury Gemini Apollo shuttle, and now we're getting to Artemis. It's like, oh my gosh, what we've done in this short window of our existence with this technology, nuclear to electric, it's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen fast. And warp drive, I totally believe we are going to figure it out. It's the new physics, new engineering, but I 100% believe it's going to happen. And Dr. Wright, he's amazing, and his vision and leadership is unmatched with anything I've ever seen. And it's just truly an honor to be a part of LSI, because we are going incredibly fast, and it's going to be an epic ride. Or it has been an epic ride, and I just can't wait.
So and you just recently went from the teaching part to the actual education part in LSI. So, tell us a little bit about that journey, and then tell us about what it is that you do in your current position.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So what I've done in the past, I was, elementary school teacher when I first started, and then I moved up to middle school science because science was my passion. I just wanted to teach it all day, every day. So we were in Flagstaff, Arizona, which was a great nurturing environment because they are a STEM city, self-proclaimed STEM city. So it was great to live and work there. But I always wanted something a little bit more. I wanted to work in the space industry. And so after 13 years, I left my classroom in Flagstaff and took up a job, worked my way up to education director at Space Center Houston. So we lived in Houston for 5 years, which was a great experience and learned so much. And then from there, at the end of COVID, wanted to be closer to family in the Midwest, so we moved to Louisville, Kentucky, and that's where I ended up meeting you virtually. And it was really good to go back to the classroom because I have a crystal clear view of what's happening in education post-COVID, with social media, with phones in every kid's hands and technology in every kid's hands. That wasn't my situation when I left Arizona in 2016. So a lot has changed. And it's very challenging for teachers in the classroom. There are a lot of challenges with the system itself. There's a lot of challenges that our students face, what our teachers face. And so with those challenges, though, I have a lot of knowledge that I can bring to this role as a director of education to be able to support teachers and students and communities and help them better understand our mission and be able to identify ways that we can help get them connected with resources and give them support. So in my current role we have 3 pillars. We have curriculum design, because we want to make all these new amazing lessons tied to going incredibly fast, which has been wonderful. It's new, it's fresh, and we want to get that in front of kids as much as we can. But in order to do that, our top pillar, which is my passion, is focusing on educator professional development. So we really are honed in on making sure teachers feel confident in teaching STEM subjects through the lens of space exploration. And so we provide resources, we provide virtual subject matter expert presentations every month. We provided them going to the Space Exploration Educator Conference in Houston last February. And just a few weeks ago, we brought them all to Houston. Well, 18 out of 20 of them, almost all of them, to Houston for a week-long professional development institute, which was phenomenal. So being able to have them feel comfortable, because interstellar, you talk about those types of things, or nuclear to electric, teachers would be like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not touching anything nuclear, even saying the word nuclear, you know. So we have to break down those walls, help them be vulnerable, help them, because all teachers are lifelong learners, but I mean, it can be intimidating. So we have to take that away, make it fun and engaging, so that they'll take it back to their classrooms and put it in front of their students. So their students see that it's fun and engaging, it's not scary or intimidating. And they see that, hey, I can be a part of that mission. I want to be a part of that. That is so cool. Going interstellar, I want to do that. I want to go explore other stars and other planets. I mean, how cool is that? So that's what we do in the professional development realm for educators. And then our last pillar is community outreach, getting out to the community, working with underserved, underrepresented students, and making sure they understand it as well through fun and hands-on engaging activities. So I try and bring that all together, and we're working hard. We're actually going to be launching our next round of applications for our 2024 cohort of educators. So that launches Tuesday, August 15th. So that will be live, and we'll be looking for our next round of teachers to add to our group of 20. So we're very excited to expand the program, and we're also working with some international partners to expand to a global Limitless Educator program. So that's been very, very exciting.
And you will definitely want to talk to Robert, which is going to be on the panel as well. He is trying to bridge the gap between, like, he wants to see Ecuadorian students and Kentucky students or Indiana students. He wants to see them doing projects together that go to space. So he is an incredible person. Then you will definitely want to talk to him.
Yes, I can't wait.
So let's talk about, I mean, those challenges are very real. You know, I was in Civil Air Patrol, and one of the things I did was try to get STEM kits into the hands of teachers. Now, these were $100 kits that were free. And the challenge is that, yes, most teachers, they don't know what to do with it. And then you add on that there's this universal code that everything has to fit in, and it makes it even more of a challenge to work it into your classroom. And then who's going to teach you how to do it? So STEM is a big challenge, and there's like so many other different classes you can teach that you do know something about. You're going to pick them. And space doesn't get taught. So I love the fact that you're attacking that from that angle, because that is a real problem. But let's talk about some of the other outreach challenges that you've experienced in getting this message out.
Yeah, I think some of the other challenges is just that it seems like it's science fiction. You know, interstellar is not something that most people, even the general public, think that it's possible. They just see it in the movies. So being able to overcome with real science that Dr. White is so good at communicating, being able to explain how distance and time work and why we need to focus on additional power and propulsion systems, because chemical propulsion, which we mainly rely on, at least to get out of Earth's gravity and to get going, it's just not sustainable. It's just not, we absolutely cannot do it if we're going to go. I mean, Mars is a stretch, but deep space, it's not going to happen. So being able...
There's no dinosaurs out there.
Yeah, there's no dinosaurs at all. It's not happening. So, looking at solar sails, using, sunlight photons as a type of power and propulsion, transferring that momentum to solar sails. Really excited about, there's one launching in November, I believe. I forgot, the name of it. Yes, they're so amazing. The technology with that is incredible. So I think that's the big hurdle too, and getting teachers to be able to say, I want to be a part of that. We've got to keep breaking down some misconceptions about science and STEM, and that it's hard and that I don't know, and we got to make it fun, accessible, engaging, and even for the community and general public, they have to see science as fun and engaging, and also like, oh, I didn't know that. Because not everyone had a great experience in school, and not everyone wants to, really take a deep dive into some of these topics. So it's all how we present it as well. And so we're still fine tuning some things there. But it's really exciting, and we'll keep adapting as the needs of teachers and the public adapt.
Well, and I'd like to say something about science fiction. Science fiction, the reason why it's entertaining for us and we watch it on TV is because there's a part of it that's believable. Yeah. A lot of this science fiction is based on things that are happening right now, and that's what makes it so interesting. Mm-hmm. And it's not just, created out of somebody's imagination without any basis in reality. The stuff we really like, it's based in reality, in technology, in that reality.
Yep. Just get them comfortable with the science behind why that would work. How could we get it to work? It's taking it that step further, because that'll hook them. Hollywood hooks them, and it's exciting, and we have these amazing imaginations. Yes. But then how do we reel people in to want to be a part of that, or to help understand it on the level of why this science and research is so important?
Hold on to your boosters. We will be right back with guest Kaci Heins with Limitless Space Institute after a brief message from our sponsors. Please like and subscribe to the Space Marketing Podcast so you don't miss a thing. On the outreach part, because outreach is part of marketing. Mm-hmm. The most successful marketing strategy, in my opinion, is education, because it leaves people better than you found them. It's a conversation, it's a development on both sides. So outreach is just a facet of a type of marketing. So what type of outreach strategies have been successful for you that you would like to share with other people that are starting an initiatives?
Well, as far as what I've found so far has been, we focus now on Teacher Tuesdays. So we're picking a specific day. We've got the Teacher Tuesday. So we want it to be something that our educators or anyone else that wants to learn something, or if they're informal classroom setting as well, or the nonprofit or museum, they can come on Tuesday, to our social and see, okay, what are they talking about today? So we're trying to build that up now, and focus on different lessons. So we're starting to build a library on our lesson library on our website, where teachers can go, because everything we create, I want it to be free for anyone to use in their classrooms or however they see fit. So just building that repetition to come back to us every Tuesday, and then go to the website, download a lesson, or check out this information, because most teachers are lifelong learners, so we'll probably expand to learning more things about what's in our lab based out of Houston, vacuum chambers, atomic microscopes, all this really cool science that's happening.
Oh, cool.
So that's kind of where we're focused with our marketing strategy at the moment.
That's a good one. That's a good one. And this next question, you are going to have a very interesting answer to. It's a question I always ask is, where do you see the space industry in the next 10 to 20 years? And most people struggle with this one because they can only see about 10, which you are way beyond the 20. So please tell us where do you see the space industry going in the future?
Oh my gosh, I see it doing amazing things, and not just as the United States. It is going to have to be an international collaboration. So we're going to see more connections with other countries and partnerships that are going to be really exciting. There's so many cool startups like Venus Aerospace, seeing what Axiom's doing. SpaceX, of course, is doing amazing things. I mean, it is a great time to be alive, and it's exciting. So the next 10 years, I mean, obviously we're going to be back on the moon for sure. The first woman, first person of color, we're going to have boots there. We're going to start a habitat there. We're going to have Gateway out there, which is going to be epic. I think that we will get to Mars. Absolutely. I think we'll get to Mars. I think we'll have missions going there first, getting supplies there. It's fun to watch Perseverance and Ingenuity, trekking around Mars now. I mean, who would thought? We have a helicopter on Mars. I mean, how cool. And it's still flying. It's done 40 some odd flights? It's incredible.
Oh, it has been, and they only expected one.
Yes.
They were happy with one.
Exactly. So if we can design a helicopter on Mars, and we show that to our students, what can't we do? I mean, the atmosphere is so thin there, and just all the testing that went into that. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And then the sample return missions they have planned. So once you think beyond Mars, let's say 25, 30 years, it is getting to the asteroid belt. Are we going to pursue asteroid mining? Looking for those really metal-rich asteroids to be able to build things in space. I have my students there. We've designed a lesson that looks at cost-benefit analysis of which asteroids would you go to, and using sensors, these little sensors called pocket labs that help them. We put magnets in, foil balls, and they have to figure out which one has the strongest magnetic field, and then that's the one you target, and what's your return on your investment. So, and then beyond that, can you imagine flying by the rings of Saturn? I mean, if we're doing, fusion to electric engines, be there in about, 6 months? How incredible would that be to explore and see everything? Because, we can do the flyby missions, and robotic missions are awesome, but being able to have a human see it there in person, that's why the overview effect is so powerful. For astronauts, it's like, gosh, if you could have that effect just looking at our own planet, just imagine flying by Saturn and its rings and the impact it would have on you.
Oh, I mean, life would never be the same if you were looking out the window at that. And in your video that I had at the beginning of this particular segment, it shows that flyby.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I know. And I really think it's going to happen. And I think by the end of the century, when we've figured out warp drive, we're going to be able to travel to our nearest star. We're going to be able to do it and then explore further than we've ever even considered. And it will happen. I truly believe it's going to happen. And Limitless Space Institute is blazing that trail. It's exciting to be a part of it.
Well, and it's important to get the kids and that this generation and the kids that they will have thinking about it. We may not be able to see it in our lifetime. We may. Who knows? I mean, look at what the change that, the cell phone did, and the internet did, and COVID did. I mean, our technology is completely different. The fact that we're even having this conversation it's different than what it was 5 years ago. And when you said something earlier about way back in 2016.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, that wasn't that long ago.
It feels like it.
And it does. So, I mean, and what are we going to see? We can't even anticipate some of the things that we're going to see and the impact that they're going to have. We may hit warp drive in 20 to 40 years. So I too am very excited to see what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
So before I ask you the last question, I just want to circle back that if you want to see these incredible teaching things, that Kaci will be on the Space for Kentucky Roundtable. It will be recorded, but if you want to ask questions, go, make sure that you attend, and it is spaceforkentucky.com. And it is August 31st at 6 p.m. and will go to about 7:30. And so what final thoughts do you want to leave our audience with today? What do you want them to mull around as they go about their day?
Oh, wow. Well, I definitely want them to check out our website, limitlessspace.org. We also have an amazing video on YouTube, the one that you're going to be sharing. In 3 minutes, it'll have this amazing impact on you, and it's like, oh, we can do this. We can be a part of this mission. We can explore beyond our solar system. So with, my final thoughts, number one, thank you for having me on here. It's been wonderful. And as teachers are starting the school year, I'm wishing them an amazing year, because teachers, I appreciate you. Limitless Space Institute appreciates you and all the hard work that you do for our students across the country, around the world. It is not an easy job, but we do have resources. I am always here for teachers, my people. If you need anything for your classrooms, please reach out to me, Kaci at limitlessspace.org. Please apply for our educator program. It goes live next Tuesday, August 15th. It will be open until September 22nd. If you are not an educator, just always be open. Be a lifelong learner. Go out, and research something new, exciting. Of course, we want you to focus on space because it's so cool. Be a part of the mission, but be engaged, be involved. It's a really important part of who we are as humans is to continue exploring. So anytime you can support exploration, it's mission critical to Spaceship Earth. And be kind, be positive, and always, my little tagline is dare mighty things. So thank you so much, Izzy.
Dare mighty things. I love that. I love that. And it is a critical mission. Like I said, most people have a disconnect on how space impacts their life. But as we look at record temperatures and we look at all these apocalyptic things, we need to clean up our Earth. And the way we do that is we have to learn how to survive in space. And we have to develop technology in order to do that. And it cleans our air, cleans our water. The nuclear propulsion is a clean energy, and all that will trickle down back here on our spaceship Earth and help us as we continue through our universe.
That's awesome. Yes, dare mighty things.
A special thanks to Kaci Heins with Limitless Space Institute for sharing her journey to space. Be sure to check out her links listed in today's show notes. And be sure to actually join us for the Space for Kentucky Roundtable on August 31st at 6 p.m. Go to spaceforkentucky.com to register. Please like and subscribe to the Space Marketing Podcast to help us and you get the word out about this incredible and fascinating industry of space. I hope that you have found this podcast useful for your journey as you reach for the stars.